I want to talk about something, and usually I plan videos out to sort of go through them point by point, but this is something that I have so much to say, I'm just hitting record and going for it. So the fear of and the intimidation around agents. This is something I've been aware of for many years. Obviously, the work I do with the 98%, speaking to actors who have been on the receiving end of misconduct and how scared they are for their career about speaking out, etc., etc. But since I have started working with parents and sort of seeing what's going on in the child actor sector of this industry, it has become explicitly clear that the fear is so palpable around parents that I'm going to say something blunt. The fear that parents feel is putting children in danger. This isn't me victim blaming in any way or saying that it's your fault that this happens. Obviously, the fault of wrongdoing comes down to no one but the perpetrator. But in an unregulated industry with no oversight or accountability, the conspiracy of silence, which is born from the fear that people feel, only enables the bad practice. So let's talk about it. This video is for anyone in the creative arts or entertainment industry, but I especially encourage parents of young performers to really listen to this. I'm not here to invalidate your fear, I just want to eradicate it. And I'm also not here to make you scared or fearful about working in this industry or signing with an agent, but knowledge is power, and you deserve to feel empowered, especially while you're helping a child navigate this industry. Before I go into the dodgy stuff, I do want to caveat all that to start off this video by saying some of my closest friends now are agents. I speak to agents almost every day, good agents, great agents, wonderful people, and I love them. I see what a good job they do. I see how hard they work. I also, myself, have only ever been in a very privileged position with my representatives. I have loved every agent that I've had. I would work with them all again. Therefore, I am coming at this from an objective view because I know what it's like to have a good agent and have a good relationship with them, and that's what you deserve too. So I'm looking at this objectively, so please listen. And go look in the comments. I bet there will be agents who are agreeing with everything I say, so don't just take my word for it. Having said that, I'm going to come in hot and I'm going to say agents really aren't that important. They couldn't do our job without us, the actors, the clients. It's agents themselves, some agents, who solidify the pedestal that the industry likes to put them on and takes advantage of that. But when you really, really take a step back, they are just people in this industry doing their job just like you and I. In the children's sector especially, agents are revered as like these gurus and gatekeepers and, oh, I can't say anything because what if they have ruined my career, or what if they do this? They're just human beings. And like I've said before, in the UK, anyone can become an agent. Anyone can wake up tomorrow morning and build a website, start a social media, and call themselves an agency. Why is it that by giving yourself a job title, you automatically get perceived legitimacy and credibility and clout and people falling over themselves just to have you say yes or take you on? What I see too often is parents especially saying, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to report this, even criminal activity. They don't want to report it because they can't anonymize themselves. And what if this affects their child's career? What if the agent ruins their child's career? What if they blacklist them? There really is no such thing as blacklisting. And if anyone tried, especially when it comes to a child, it only says more about them and further proves your concerns of their behavior. For example, parents fear that if they leave one agency and join another, that agent might badmouth their child to this new agent or casting directors to try and make it harder for them to get work because they don't want to lose this client. And I'll be honest, that has happened. And because of the unique position I'm in, speaking to parents but also speaking to agents, I can tell you what happened on the other side of that table. And that is that the new agency saw what this agent was trying to do and said, this is absolutely terrible. How dare they? They called this parent, gave them extra support. They also reached out to their other agent friends and said, this is what's going on. Has anyone else had this experience? Yes, actually, I heard this story from this agency. Right, we need to do something about this. No good agent, no good human being is going to see an adult slandering a child or that child's parent and go, yeah, you're right, I don't want anything to do with this child, unless that agent themselves is also a bad agent or a bad human being. And why would you want to be repped with them if that was the case? I have people come to me and they say, here's this information, here's the experience that I had, I just want to give you this for context in case it's helpful. And I'm like, great, this is actually really helpful. This would help with this investigation. Or could you talk to this person who's putting this on record? Or could you give me a testimonial so that I can use that to warn others? And they say, oh, no, I don't want to be involved in any way. I just wanted you to know. I can't do much with that. As a third party, as someone who doesn't have any direct experience, I can't do anything with just contextual information, which I'm usually already aware of. And to me, that says two things. One is you're happy for me to do the hard work and stick my head above the parapet and put myself out there. But also, by turning a blind eye yourself, you're fine for this, what you've experienced, to happen to someone else. And how can we expect change or accountability if people aren't willing to use their experience to seek it? Some of the stories I've heard regarding the behavior of children's agencies is so categorically insane, I sometimes can't even process it. I thought I heard crazy things going on to adult actors. The children's stuff is a whole other beast. Like, honestly, if I told you some of these stories, you would think I'm mad and speaking complete nonsense. But they're happening, and the agents are getting away with it because they can. And they can because they know that parents aren't well equipped to be in this industry through no fault of their own, and they're too scared to speak up if the agent is found to be doing wrong. And it's the agents who perpetuate the hierarchy that then take advantage of it. For example, if your child is represented by an agent who is constantly making you aware of how well connected they are, that if you leave that agency, your child's career will be in the gutter, that if you say anything bad, this agent is so well connected that your child will never get an audition again. No good agent I know would ever perpetuate or remind parents that I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm the agent, you're the parent, shut up and listen to me because I'm more important than you. Because who benefits from the conspiracy of silence that fear creates? The perpetrator. I've been told before that some agents are scared of me. I would argue they aren't scared of me, they're scared of what I represent, and that is a single point of contact. Because when people come to me and they talk and they are listened to and they are supported and they are advised and they are empowered, and then they connect with other people who've experienced things, and then they group together and they find their voice and they speak out through whatever avenue they might want to speak out about. That's what's scary for these agents, because finally there is a place where people can find their voice and speak up against wrongdoing. So let's do that. Let's share, let's talk, let's listen, let's support, because not only will that hold wrongdoing to account, but it makes it harder for other bad apples to do the same behavior because they see that it's not as easy to get away with. Whether it's immoral behavior or downright criminal, staying quiet puts your child and other children at risk. Now, I'm not saying you have to make social media videos or loudly shout about what happened to you, but you can stand up to wrongdoing, stand up for yourself and your child, and share information with others to keep them safe and informed. I'm going to leave you with one more example for now. A parent reached out to me sharing absolutely harrowing experience with a very prominent agent and agency. Some of the things detailed in this outreach was so concerning to me that I felt compelled I had to make a safeguarding report. That safeguarding team then replied to me advising me to report this to the police. But I can't because that parent doesn't want to. And as a third party, I can't report on behalf of someone else. They need to be able to report it themselves. So that agent, who I've been told to report to the police, are out there working with countless children, using the smoke and mirrors of this industry to not only avoid accountability, but to have people practically begging to be represented by them, when in actuality, they could potentially be arrested. Parents, I'm sure you entered your children into this industry because of their talent and their joy of performing. I highly doubt you brought them into this profession to put them in danger. And unfortunately, due to the lack of regulation, it's up to us to keep them safe. There are agencies out there who have had government intervention due to unlawful activity that are still running because there's nothing stopping them. So know your rights, stand up to wrongdoing, and share your experiences with others to keep them safe and informed. As always, stay safe, stay savvy, and follow the 98% pod to be in the know and be empowered with awareness and knowledge.